Assalamu alaikum, inshallah you're well, guys. So today I'm going to speak about career progression because I'm often asked the question, how quickly can I progress? How quickly can I develop? And inshallah, I'm going to share my experiences to manage your expectations. You may have heard about Ben Newton, who is the first Bright Start apprentice employed at Deloitte who made partner, and that was in just 12 years. But is that realistic? To begin with, let's look at early careers. And this is where many people join the finance industry, and this could be either via an apprenticeship route where you're spending around 5 years completing your scheme, or via the graduate route where you spend around 3 years completing the scheme. And throughout this, you've got a clear, structured plan in place. You'll know when you'll be taking your exams, when you'll be spending time working, and there'll be a clear development pathway as well. Outside of this, there's not much flex in place. So you can't do an apprenticeship scheme for 2 years and then go and apply for a manager role because at this stage, you haven't become a qualified professional. It's likely you'll still have many exams to do and much more experience to gain before you can call yourself either a chartered accountant, tax professional, or whichever professional studies you've chosen to pursue. So your promotion at this stage will be fairly standard. As long as you're passing your exams, you're doing a good enough job at work, you'll progress from maybe trainee year 1 to year 2 to year 3 until you end up completing the scheme. Now, although you'll get promoted in line with your peers, if you choose to stand out from the crowd, you do a great job, you stand out for the right reasons, you can influence how quickly you get promoted once you've completed the scheme. Remember, grads and apprentices are seen as future leaders of an organization. They've invested tens of thousands of pounds in training you, paying for your exams, giving you time off to study. The last thing they want to do is see you leave. They actually want to promote you. So if you stand out, you increase your chances. And you do that by building networks, presenting to senior leaders, working on different projects, getting the best rating in each annual appraisal. You do that compared to someone who just comes in and does a standard job, you'll definitely stand out. And it's important we stop and reflect about this because sometimes we can be guilty of focusing on the short term. If you're on a grad scheme, you may purely be focused on passing your exams, thinking I don't need to worry about promotion because I'm getting a pay rise when I pass each stage of exams, or I'm getting an annual pay rise, so I don't need to think about life after my scheme. Now, once you've completed the scheme, you'll get promoted to the whatever senior level is in your organization. So your job title could be financial accountant, audit senior, assistant manager, financial analyst, and that's pretty much a given so long as you've done a good job. Because now that you're qualified, you're obviously much more experienced than a grad or an apprentice, so it's pretty much guaranteed that you will get promoted. So up until this stage, within the first 3 or 5 years of your career, depending on your entry route, your promotion is fairly standard. As long as you do a good job, you will get promoted in line with your peers. To get to the next stage, which is typically manager grade, I'd say it's reasonable to expect that to happen within 2 years. 1 year to show that you can act as a senior, you can lead the projects you may have been a junior on, or lead more complex projects, and your second year to show that you can manage the projects which you previously led. However, if you're proactive, like I mentioned earlier in your grad or apprenticeship scheme, that could happen in as little as 6 months, especially within practice. Remember, there's often high turnover in practice. People are always leaving, and there are often at least 2 fixed promotion rounds in the year. So if circumstances play out in your favor and you are proactive for 3 or 5 years during your early career scheme, you could definitely get promoted within a year. In industry, I'd say it's not impossible, but less likely to happen. There's often less turnover, and your promotion rounds could be limited to 1 per year. So I'd say across the board, 2 years is a reasonable expectation. But my advice to you is that if you've been a senior in an organization for around 3 years and you're still unsure when you're going to get promoted, or there isn't an action plan in place, take that as a hint to leave. Now, once you've made manager, I'd say the pathway to senior manager can take around 2 to 3 years. In your first year as manager, the most important thing that you've got to show is that you can deliver through others. One of the biggest development tasks as a manager is to show that you can pass responsibility and let your team make mistakes, but you know when to jump in so those mistakes don't become critical. They don't go all the way up to the CFO as an example. You'll also have to build more experience in managing administrative tasks. Can you plan your projects? Can you deliver those within deadlines? Can you manage your resources, deliver annual appraisals, and focus on learning and development for your team? In industry, there can also be a greater focus on building your network. Teams in industry are often quite small, so you may have to go and build relationships outside of finance. Less likely to happen in practice because you often have service lines or teams within service lines which have 40 to 50 people within the team. So the focus is more on recovery. Can you deliver maximum value for the project? In your second year, it's more about showing how you add value to the team Remember, your juniors are already delivering the work, so that's already covered. Can you develop your team so they're able to take on more leadership roles? Can you scope in additional projects which add value? Can you challenge existing processes to demonstrate efficiencies? And how are you acting as an ambassador for your area? Although I say 2 to 3 years, it can take longer, especially within industry, because you'll soon realize that as you get higher and higher, there are fewer positions on offer. And sometimes at more senior levels, there can be blockers in place. For example, your promotion or progression may be dependent on someone higher moving on from their role. I'd say these blockers begin at the senior manager level. Not so much at the manager level. If you're a good senior, you're doing a great job, the company value you, they will make things work. They'll move things around to create a manager opportunity for you. For me, it took around 2.5 years to get to senior manager level, but I know managers elsewhere who are still in the same role after 4 to 5 years. So alhamdulillah, just a gentle reminder to inshallah do your du'as and have sincere intentions as well. Now, I'm not at the director level yet, but from what I've seen around me, I'd say it's reasonable to expect that to come within 4 to 5 years in industry or around 3 to 4 years in practice. That's a rough guideline, and again, it depends on you. I know some senior managers who are comfortable at that level. They're more than capable to become director, but they don't want to take on the additional responsibilities. It may be they have young families in place or they're happy with the current package that they're on. At director level, it's a different ballgame. You rely on your senior managers as your right hand to deliver the business as usual activities, whereas you're focusing on showcasing your area, showing how your area delivers benefits, keeping close to the business as well so you understand what's going on, what's changing, building your relationships with senior leaders, and then taking all of that and making sure that your team is prepped for changing circumstances. You're also a bit of a salesman, whether that's in industry or practice. You have to go out there and bring projects in to show that your area is delivering value and contributing to the organization's objectives. Inshallah, that's given you a reasonable idea of what expected career progression can look like. But one of the other things you may want to consider is job hopping. This is where instead of committing to a 3 to 5 year development or career progression plan at one company, you are constantly changing companies to get promoted quicker. And I've seen people jump from senior to their next role as manager in a different company to senior manager and even to director. Now, you could be changing companies every 18 months to 2 years and find yourself at director level within 5 to 6 years of qualifying. One of the big negatives with that is employers may not see you as favorably because they'll see that you're constantly changing companies. So they'll say that you're not a long-term fit for the role. But the other side of the argument is so long as you're getting paid more, who cares? Inshallah, I'll leave it there, guys. As always, any questions or queries, please feel free to comment below or message me on Instagram.